Hello everyone, this is me Johan here. I've been using the Honor 8X as my primary smartphone for the past 1 week. And this is one phone that has really impressed me. I've listed down things that I really liked about the phone and a few things that I did not like about the phone. By the end of this review, you guys will get a clear understanding whether this phone is for you or not for you. This is my full review of the Honor 8X. The screen used on this phone is an IPS LCD screen. It's a humongous 6.5 inch screen with an aspect ratio, a unique aspect ratio of 19.5 by 9 and a pixel density of about 400 ppi. To give you guys an understanding or to let you guys know how good the quality of the screen is, I'll just play a clip for you guys right now. This clip is being played at 1080p and I've zoomed in completely. If y'all really enjoy using a screen that is really big, this is a pretty big screen, it's a 6.5 inch screen. This screen will provide you a decent experience. The colors are good enough, the brightness levels are good enough. To rate this panel, I would rate this panel as an above average panel. This is the plastic case that came along with the phone. And it's a perfect fit for the phone. The variant I have with me has 6 GB of RAM inside, and the RAM management on this phone has simply been superb. I mean, it keeps apps in memory for extended periods of time. I remember the other day I had played Asphalt 9 and I suddenly just had to go off and got out of the app, and I remember after 45 minutes I again went back and the game was still in memory. So the performance and especially the RAM management on this phone has been a big thumbs up, and on top of it the heat management on this phone has also been excellent. The high silicon Kirin 710 octa-core processor with the Mali G51 GPU has done a tremendous job, and performance, RAM management and heat management on this phone is a huge thumbs up, and I would rate it 9 out of 10. And as far as Antutu benchmarks are concerned, this phone scored an extremely high 1,39,422 points, which is on par with the Snapdragon 660 octa-core processor. Call quality and reception is another area where I was very impressed with this phone. The calls were clear and crisp and I had no reception issues whatsoever. I would rate this 8 out of 10. Another really impressive feat of this phone has been its build quality. The back of this phone is made of 2.5D glass. It's blue in color and it's really beautiful to look at. But being made of glass, it does create a lot of fingerprints here and there. I mean, it smudges quite a bit. And yeah, it does have a headphone jack, thankfully. Unfortunately, micro USB charging port and not Type-C. And that's not great considering its price point. A single fairing speaker right over here. Active noise cancellation with a dedicated mic. Power button and volume rockers on this phone both feel tactile and extremely well put together. Towards this side you will find the SIM tray slot. It does support dual SIM along with a micro SD card. Both the SIMs can be used on 4G and the micro SD card can be expanded all the way up to 400 GB. The battery life on this phone was impressive. The Honor 8X has a 3750 mAh battery inside. Alright, I've used the phone only on 4G today and it's been used for 13 hours and 2 minutes. It's still got 29% of its battery left. And I've achieved a screen on time of almost 5 hours. Alright, I used the phone only on Wi-Fi today and I've got a standby time of about 14 hours and 31 minutes. It's still got 31% of its battery left. And I've achieved a screen on time of almost 5 hours, which is pretty good. Alright, the phone's now down to 5% of its charge and it's taken me 1 day and 5 hours. I've achieved a screen on time of 6 hours and 40 minutes. This is a mixture of both 4G and Wi-Fi. This included 2 hours of YouTube, over 2 hours of gaming, which included games like both PUBG and Asphalt 9. I did make voice calls for about 30 minutes. I used Google Maps for again 30-35 minutes, and finally the remainder of the battery I utilized all the other social media apps like Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, Twitter, etc. Considering all these factors, I did use the phone very heavily and it's taken me 1 day and 5 hours to kill the battery. Feel it's got pretty solid battery life. Alright, I'll be performing a phone idle drain test. The Wi-Fi is left on. There's 31% of its battery left. It's 1:24 a.m. in the morning, and as you guys can see for yourself, I've left about 10 apps left running in the background. So I'll see you guys in the morning and let you guys know how much battery is drained. Alright, after a little over 8 hours, the phone's lost about 4% of its charge. Alright, I'll be performing a phone idle drain test right now. Time's 12:53 a.m. in the morning. The battery is currently at 29%. I've switched off both 4G and Wi-Fi and closed all the apps. So I'll get back to you guys in the morning and let you guys know how much battery is drained in the morning. Alright, the time's now 9:24 a.m. in the morning, and after a period of about 8.5 hours, the phone's just dropped 1% of its charge, which is pretty impressive. Alright, I'll be performing a phone charging test on this phone. Phone's currently got 3% of its battery life. It's 6:20 p.m. in the evening. This phone does come with a charger that has an output of 2 amps. So I'll just switch on the charger right now. Alright, the charger's on right now. So I'll get back to you guys once the phone fully charges to 100%. Alright, the phone's charged to 32% in 31 minutes time. It took exactly 2 hours and 10 minutes to charge the phone from 3 to 100%. Regarding the primary camera on the phone, the primary camera right at the back is a 20 megapixel camera with an f1.8 aperture, and the camera right beneath it is a 2 megapixel depth sensor, and right beneath it you will find an LED flash, and right in front you will find a 16 megapixel selfie cam with an f2.0 aperture. As far as the camera on this phone is concerned, I was pretty impressed considering the price range. It has got one of the best cameras in its price range, and it's got so many modes. I'd probably do a dedicated camera video to just give you guys an understanding of the capability of this phone's camera. The only area where I was not very impressed was in low light. Considering the price, again, I didn't expect too much out of it, but there is this night mode over here, you see. It does a pretty decent job in improving the low light photography on this phone. And as far as the video side of things are concerned, the rear camera maxes out at 1080p 60 fps, and the front cam strangely maxes out at just 720p. We have no 4K on this, and considering the price range, I don't feel it's a very good thing. You guys can have a look at some of the shots I've taken on this phone's camera along with some video clips. Regarding the fingerprint scanner, I think the phone does a pretty decent job. I'll just show it to you guys. Tap and open. Tap and open. Tap and open. The fingerprint scanner is a big satisfaction on this phone. I would rate it 8.5 out of 10. It's not as good as a Nokia 5.1 Plus, but it's one of the best in its price range. Regarding the face unlock on this phone, I'll just showcase it to you guys. Tap. Just showcase. Yeah, it just opened like that. Once again. Yeah, it just opened like that. I would suggest you guys to hit the power button and place it right in front of your face. It does a much faster job. If you just expect it to unlock like that, it's not very consistent, I've noticed. And especially during nighttime, you need to press the power button for some light to come in. And once the light comes in, it will showcase right on the screen that it's recognizing a face. It takes about a second or two to unlock your phone, but it is pretty consistent. It does a pretty decent job. Face unlock on this phone has been a pretty satisfactory experience overall. Regarding quality of audio via speaker and headphone, this is a speaker right over here. It's a single fairing speaker. To just give you guys an idea of it, this is an area where I have been thoroughly disappointed, to be very honest. The speaker is just not loud enough at max volume, and even the quality of audio via headphones, it's clear and crisp, and Huawei have all these different sound modes which will help you enhance the quality, but The loudness levels are just not loud enough. It didn't matter what type of headset I was using. I was not satisfied whatsoever. I'll just play a clip to give you guys an idea of the loudness of the speaker. This clip is being played in a relatively quiet environment, and it's at full volume, by the way. In such a situation, the phone does a decent job. The single pharynx speaker does a decent job. But if y'all sit down in an area where there's a lot of background noise, you can barely hear the output that comes out of the speaker. If y'all are looking out for a phone that has good audio via speaker and headphones, I would suggest you guys to skip this phone and buy either the Moto One Power or the Mi A2, which provide a way better experience at the same price point. If you're coming from stock Android or you really like the simplicity of stock Android, this EMUI skin might not be for you. I, for the most part, really liked it. I am using a Google Pixel 2 XL. But considering that, I really like the customizations on this one. I mean, I could customize this phone as per my preference, and I found a lot of handy features in EMUI which I did not find in stock Android. But there are many people who do not like the cluttered OS. I mean, there's a lot of bloat on this phone. The only thing I did not like is the bloat on the phone. But considering that this is based or rather boiled down to personal preference overall, if you are very much in love with the simplicity of stock Android, I don't think you will like this. But if you really like customizing your phone as per your liking and your preference, this phone might suit you. Regarding the software and security patch on this phone, it's currently running on Android Oreo 8.1.0 and the EMUI version is 8.2.0, and the security patch as of now is the 1st of September 2018. We are in the month of November right now. This phone will receive the Android Pie update. The question is when. And the number 2 thing has been the security patch. Honor have historically not done well in this department. If you're extremely particular about receiving regular software updates and security patches, this is something that needs to be looked into before buying this phone, because they have historically not done really well in this department, and we'll have to wait and see how well they do from here on. Alright, this is video footage using the rear cam of the Honor 8X. It's maxed out at 1080p 60 FPS. This is video footage using the front-facing cam of the Honor 8X. This footage has been shot at 720p. This is an area that has really disappointed me, as per specifications, both the front and rear cam were supposed to max out at 1080p 30 FPS. The upside to it is the rear cam now tops out at 1080p 60 FPS. Sadly, the front cam has now been limited to just 720p. Considering the price point at which this phone is being sold, I just feel 1080p should be standard as far as the front facing camera goes. Anyways, you guys have a look at the footage and see how stable it is. You guys be the judge of it. Again, regarding its display, there is no Corning Gorilla Glass being used, which is a bit of a letdown considering the price point at which this phone is being sold. Alright, I'm under direct sunlight right now, and as you guys can see for yourself, I've cranked the screen brightness to about 80%, and it's not the brightest screen out there, guys, but yeah, it's visible under direct sunlight at about 80 to 90% of its brightness. If the pros of the Honor 8X outweigh the cons of the Honor 8X, and if y'all are interested in buying the phone, I would suggest y'all to buy the phone via the link which I've put in the description column. One more suggestion. If y'all are planning to use the phone for a period of 1 year, my suggestion would be to go ahead and buy the 4GB RAM variant. And if y'all are planning on using it for a period of 2 years, my obvious suggestion would be to go ahead and buy the 6GB RAM variant. All in all, I feel this is a great smartphone, and I've done a dedicated speed test between the Honor 8X and the OnePlus 6 to just showcase to you guys how fast this phone actually is. And if you guys are interested in buying the phone, I would suggest you guys to buy it via the link as it does help out the channel. So that's it for me today, guys. I hope you guys really liked the video. If you guys loved the video, I'd appreciate it if you guys would give me a thumbs up. And if you guys are interested in following me from here on, I would suggest you guys to go ahead and hit subscribe to my channel Living with Tech, and right after that hit the bell icon so that you guys get notified with the latest and greatest videos I'll be putting up on YouTube from here on. So as it is, as always, I wish all of you a tremendous day ahead of you. Ciao for now.